So the first thing I just wanted to mention was that often people, when they set a goal for the new year or the year ahead, is that why they might not achieve it is, one, because it's not aligned with actually what's really important to them. So it might be because, say if it was to lose 5 kilos or something like that, that maybe that's in conflict with something else in their lives, or that it's not truly the most important thing that they need right now. And that's why we're going to tie this in with values. It might also be that they don't set up habits to make it happen. So it's like this lofty thing that's disconnected from what they do in their daily life. Or often it's that they get overwhelmed, that it's too hard, like they don't even know really how to do it. And probably, like so many of the goals that we set, especially around New Year time, are things we set the year before and the year before that. So what often happens is we just get into a habit of not achieving that thing. So then and therefore it gets harder. So I'd like you to consider this. So to me, the key is to do things to live your highest value, so that then it's that you're thinking of things that you can do in your daily life that are going to reinforce that thing that you really want. So it's not as dramatic and it's not as life-changing, as far as it's not life-changing on a daily basis, because they're just little things that you're changing, but they compound into becoming something that can really change your life. So if you think of it this way, like rather than aiming for a single goal or a destination as such, that you're going in a direction. So an example of that could be, like I said before, a goal of wanting to lose 5 kilos. So firstly, why? So it might be because you want to become healthier, to feel better in your body, feel comfortable in yourself. So that could be your goal, but instead of it being a goal, why not say that's the direction? So because if health is one of your highest values, then the direction you want to travel in is in a healthier way of life. So to be healthier and be as healthy as you can be, you want to create daily habits that are going to support your health. So then it's like you might have little, if you think of it in the analogy of it being a direction rather than a destination, it's that there's no set point of where you're aiming for other than just to being healthier. So you might have sort of something you're introducing into your nutrition each day. And there might be that, oh, you're going to start walking with a friend and you're going to do that 3 times a week. That those things are habits that you're instilling and that you're practicing and getting better at and better at until it just becomes part of your routine, as opposed to I'm going to exclude a lot of other things in my life so that I can just do this diet, or I can just run this 10 Ks. Hi, Michelle. Great to see you here. But that sort of thing where it's you're not just aiming for that destination, which then once you've got there, it's like, oh, what do I do now? Right, well, that was really inconvenient because I had to exclude those things or those foods, or get up at 5 o'clock every morning. Phew, now I don't have to do it. And then that's when we fall off the wagon. So it's just those little incremental things that just add up over time. So if you do need to set a goal, and often that can be a part of this, is that then from establishing that goal, say for instance, again, we say it's you want to lose 5 kilos, then you work out what habits you need to start creating in your daily life so that then they become your new normal, and over time they get you to that 5 kilo loss. But meantime, only focus on what you need to do today and just literally like forget about what that goal is. So if you just keep in mind, okay, so now my habit is in the mornings that I make sure I've made my own lunch and I've prepared my snacks for the day, that, right, you're done. And just continue with your day. And then tomorrow can do the same thing. So you're not tempted in that old way of thinking about this big goal that you want to achieve, and then start second guessing yourself and going, actually, I think it's just too hard. And that can be actually demotivating. So let's go to to your booklet. So if you don't have it, it'll look like this. There'll also be a nice cover page to it. But we're just going to go through this now. And apologies again if you haven't got it printed off and you can't see it. But that's okay. If you've got a pen and paper, you can make some notes now too. So the first question is, what's important to me in my life right now? So this is all relating to values, because we live our values. We live what's important to us, whether we do it consciously or not. So this is where you currently spend most of your time. So it might be, this is where I would allow myself 10 minutes perhaps to do this part. And it's literally just a download and list of everything you can think of where you spend your time. So like if you think of this in a week, where do you spend your time? So it might be on work, on ferrying the kids around to commitments. It could be friends. That's something that you always prioritise, and you always have catch-ups with your friends, with your family. You might be looking after an elderly parent or somebody else, or a partner. Anything you can think of. Could also be things like not only just where you spend your time, but where you spend your thoughts too. And also what I would call your virtues. So what else is important to you? It might be honesty, integrity, respect, trust, any of those types of things as well. Love. So once you've got that list, and like it'd be great if you could have at least 20 things on there. And if you aren't sure, like you get a bit of a block after doing about 5, just sit with it. And then just ask yourself, what else is important to me in the context of my life? What else is important to me in life? And once you've got a list of, I would say, definitely at least 10, but more like 20, then you're going to go through and prioritise what's number 1 through to number 10. So from that list, then we can really start to refine what's important to you in life. And that's where then, when you look at that list and you're trying to work out, because you'll probably get a few there that are all very high on the list, then say, like for instance, it might be health, it might be get out of debt, it might be financial success, could be family, my kids, friends, could be self-care, could be holidays, travel, generosity, so many different things. So out of that list, then start asking yourself, okay, if you put, say, family as the top one, and then say, well, is that more important than financial freedom? Then whatever goes first, you can choose, and then keep going and going. Okay, so financial freedom was second, and then you look at, then there's travel. So is travel more important than financial freedom? And you just keep continuing going through that list until you refine it to that top 5. So once you've got that top 5, you can just go then to page 2 on your workbook, which is then reflect on what I've been spending my time and energy on most. So is that where you have been spending most of your time? And is that in line with actually what you want to be living? Because what if work, it has been the thing you've been spending most of your time on, but actually it's not the most important thing to you? That can start to show a bit of a conflict there. And why, if, for example, work is where you're spending most of your time, but your goal is to lose 5 kilos and you've not been able to do it because work has been always sabotaging or like bringing work home or having to work really long hours has been getting in the way of you being able to commit time to yourself. So if you've been spending, as an example, most of your time is invested in your work, but you want to be doing more for yourself, self-care, your health, or maybe your family, for instance, then you go to page 4, which is what do I want to be most important? So then that's where you may even want to change your values list and then start to, because essentially you've got one list which should be where you're investing your time, you're spending your time at the moment, and then the other one is your values of what's most important to you. So that's where you can see that contrast and you can compare and say, well, okay, yeah, too much time I've been spending and investing in work, which is sacrificing my time and energy that I need to be spending to get any kind of long-term change that I want within myself. So that's a really big one to be able to compare the two, to go almost like give you permission to go, now I can see why I wasn't able to do that in the past. And also, if you've been spending a lot of energy either helping other people or in your workplace, and extra time above and beyond really what you know in your heart you should be spending, then it's like giving you that understanding to go, now I understand why I could never achieve it. Now I'm going to start taking some of that back. So now that you can see the difference, which is page 5, of between what you're living, investing your time in, and what you want, then let's look at, and that's why this is quite an easy process once you've got that list of where you're spending your time and then what your highest values are. Then looking at page 6, how this keeps me stuck, where I currently spend most of my time. And essentially that is, like, on the surface level, I could say, by spending, like doing long hours at work, that's keeping me stuck because I'm not having time to prepare my food. So then I'm eating late, I'm not eating well, and then I'm not getting good sleep, and then I'm waking up and I don't feel hungry, and then I just drink coffee, and then I'm not eating well, and I'm feeling so stressed at work that I can't eat, and then it's not till I get home and again I have something that's not great for me. It's keeping me stuck. So then looking at the flip side is, how will it benefit me living what I want, which is like in alignment with your values, that by writing these things down is really bringing it to the front of your mind of why I really need to be doing this. So that then you're not only recognizing the negatives from keeping stuck, but you're also looking toward the thing that you really want and reinforcing all those reasons. So how will it benefit me by cutting back and coming home earlier from work, or not bringing work home, for example? That it might be then you have more connection with your partner or your family, that you eat together, or that if you're living on your own, that you're sitting down and having a meal mindfully, you feel more organised. The dishes get done, you make your bed, you just feel like maybe then the first thing that you do in the morning is 5 minutes of meditation or playing with your dog or walking the dog, and you know that you've done something for yourself is the first thing you do for the day. And how much better is that than getting up, waking up, feeling so tired, and then it's just like, I've just got to get through today. So I imagine that list that you could do of how it will benefit me could be quite a long list, as long as you allow the time to really allow those things to come through. So then the next step is making it happen. So for this is what are 3 things I can do or change to make it happen, to start living in alignment with and living my top value. So again, like for me, and the easiest one would be if your health and well-being value was your highest. So then it could be things like, right, so I'm going to start changing my habits with food. So like I'm going to start changing my food just by starting to eat breakfast, for example, which I didn't do before. And it might be, and that I'm going to start doing some foam roller stretching in front of the TV to help with the hip pain that I've got. So that's just while I'm watching TV, so I'm not actually really having to change too much there. And the third one could be that, for example, that I'm going to get up, well, I'm going to set my alarm 5 minutes earlier and listen to a meditation in the morning. That's like a gratitude meditation, for example. 3 things. Okay, so for each one of those three things, what is one habit I can create to make these happen in my daily life? So, well, I said the meditation is in the morning. To help with your nutrition, it might be that you prepare your smoothie ingredients the night before, so that makes it really easy to make your breakfast. It might be even that you make your dinner earlier and you eat earlier. It might be that you set that I'm going to go for a walk after I eat my dinner, which is going to help my digestion and it's going to help me to stop snacking, for example. So it's turning it into tangible things that you're going to do. It might be every day or however you set it up. But I do recommend setting up habits that will be daily rather than on particular days. So you're not even thinking about, is it a day that I do it or I don't? It's just every day do it. So that's the way this process works for this type of New Year goal setting or intention setting. One thing I also wanted to add, and just last point here, is that, say for instance, if your highest values, you know that, for instance, I'll keep with the wanting to lose some weight. If you wanted to lose 5 kilos, but your top value is family, and your second one is financial freedom, and then your third one is health, that's fine. What you just need to do with that is then tie in, how does your health tie in and help you achieve those other higher values? So how does being healthier help you get financial freedom, and how does improving your health help you with your family? And that should be quite easy to do, because you think of, like, if you show up being healthy and you're setting a good example for your family, how beneficial that is to them. And that if you're healthier, you have more energy and you have more patience when you show up for your family in daily life. That having more energy, being more patient, having more time with family, there's such common things that women want these days, and that by actually focusing a little bit more time on your health can really help that, can help your financial freedom. Because if you're in a state of feeling confident, which health will help you with confidence, and it will also help your brain health, it'll help you with being more assertive, it'll help you with being more positive and to find opportunities more easily. That all taps into financial freedom too. So it's incredible how just tweaking those things can really help you to not only set these goals, but to actually make them happen. And that perhaps by not focusing on these things happening in a month's time, but just focusing on the habits, takes out the overwhelm, and you can be surprised at how quickly you can manifest these results that you want by actually letting go of that old habit of focusing on the goal and thinking about how far away you are from it, and just focus on today. So I hope you found that informative and perhaps a new way of looking at your goal setting and your intentions for 2024 and beyond. And any questions, please feel free to either DM me or email or text, and I'll be more than happy to help. I am doing these sessions of actually just going through this individually with clients. So if that's something you're interested in, please let me know and I'd be more than happy to help.